2007 brought us Bratz, the movie, which, as the title suggests, is a movie about the characters behind the popular line of Bratz fashion dolls, while also implanting the beauty standards that would encourage us all to face-tune our noses and fill our lips just a decade later. And you better believe if any cosmetic surgeons out there can figure out how to give me those plasticky, expansive eyes that Sasha has, I'm really trying to improve my night vision for digging through the trash like a raccoon. Within minutes of watching Bratz, it was not only apparent that this movie was originally intended to be an animated feature, but also that animation arguably would have been a better format for presenting its hyperactive, stylized universe. Instead, get ready to be bombarded by live-action cliches, a series of overly sincere conflicts, and mixed messages that will have preteen audiences wanting to both quit and join the science club at the same time. Honestly, who cares, as long as they also want a Bratz the Movie radio-controlled Corvette for Christmas. So, buckle up for insanely convoluted storylines, less than perfect role models, and a healthy sprinkling of Jon Voight, just so you know things were equally as unstable behind the scenes. We've got a passion for fashion in this box office flop of a clip breakdown. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another installment of Clip Breakdown. This is a playlist where we dive into our favorite movies, TV shows, and other media found on the web, and we twist it into pieces like some roadkill that we found on the road, so that we can look at each little dead piece and decide what's infected in it and what can suffice for human consumption, I guess. I guess we're eating roadkill in this scenario. That's how it feels to watch Bratz the Movie. That's fair. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right down here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so hit the notification bell. When you hear the dinner bell, I've got roadkill for you. Also, I've got merch available and a Patreon where you can access exclusive episodes and watch parties. But none of that is as important as meeting these girls who not only are best friends, but they need to be the first people they talk to when you wake up. I've seen married couples that aren't as close as this 4-friend group. Also, you know it's the early thousands when everybody is talking on Apple products. That was like the product placement of the moment.
Okay, chicas, ready? Let's do it!
Wow, these girls are really social about their morning bowel movements. Is that girl power friendship or something else? Also, if I could tell you the hours that I used to spend on iChat in high school and college before FaceTime was even invented. Huh, what a time. Let me know if you guys miss any of the exposition they're trying to dump on you, like it's coffin on your grave. Coffin on your grave. Dirt on your coffin, I think is better. If someone's coughing on your grave, that's just rude.
The skirt I bought is at my mom's house.
I thought you were at your mom's house.
No, it's Monday. I'm at my dad's house. Joint custody. What can I say?
You actually didn't need to say anything, since your friends would clearly be aware of that situation. Real subtle screenwriting to have this character look right in the camera and say, I'm the one with divorced parents. See also, the black one. I'm not gonna accuse this movie of tokenism when we're only 30 seconds in, but I will say the cast kind of looks a little bit like the front of a college pamphlet where they're like, see, we let one person of every color in. I'm surprised there's not one Bratz doll who has her arm in a cast. So yeah, that's Sasha. She has the divorced parents. And then Jade here, she has strict parents who don't want her to dress nice for school. The secret dress-up closet with a shrine to Nelly Furtado inside perfectly sums up my early gayness. Mine would have also had those subscription cards that I pulled out of Men's Health magazines at Walmart so I could look at the tiny little cover models. Being alive is embarrassing.
Adios.
Sayonara.
Das vidania. Ciao, my sisters.
Stick a finger in it, ladies. Ugh, see, you can't put me on the spot like that. I don't know any languages. Now, just a note on casting here. Yasmin, who is arguably the lead of this movie, she's played by Natalia Ramos, who is half Spanish, and she's clearly playing a Latina character. I think this family is meant to be Mexican. For the rest of the family, I'm not sure they cast people of the right ethnicities for these roles. Not all the time, anyway.
Come on, niños, get dressed. You don't want to be late.
Oh, I might have spoke too soon. It's Broadway veteran Lainey Kazan. She learned that authentic Mexican accent at the Jewish Community Center. They said, but don't worry, we'll cast actual Latino actors as the mariachi band. That is, for some reason, in the kitchen right now. See, we have the Jewish actor playing a Mexican, we have the Mexican actor eating a bagel. It all kind of balances out. That's the yin and yang of Hollywood, baby. Yasmin has this special relationship with her Bubby, which is the name of this character with the biggest hair.
I know. Come on, pay up. Chocolate. How do you do that?
I'm not telling.
She's sneaking into grandma's room every night to shove a Dove chocolate inside her wig. What the hell? This trick is never explained throughout the movie. The Bratz girls are just extremely good at everything, that they can actually materialize candy out of nowhere, like using Willy Wonka magic. Chocolate! Ma'am, why wouldn't they just cast someone who's Latino? And again, the lead actress is half Spanish, but she appears mainly Caucasian. It was harder for me to understand. Doesn't matter. This is the representation we could sell in the theaters in 2007, I guess. Good God. Let's move on to Sasha.
Come on. What would I do without you?
I don't know, I guess you'd have to learn how to use a toaster on your own. You ever hear of pushing a button down? Once this girl gets into college, single dad over here will be like, oh, how did you do that thing that makes the bread get hard? It's clear from this scene that Sasha's parents still don't get along. They're like, can you tell your dad that he's a That's not healthy. We also have this scene where Jade gets out of her strict parents' car and then changes clothes right away because, you know, we've seen that in Lemonade Mouth before. We've seen that. A lot of movies do that where it's like, finally, I can change. I think Grease did it, didn't they? Who cares? We've seen it 1 million times. And I don't know if that's something kids ever did in school. Did you ever do that? Wear one thing to school and then change? I guess so. Anyway, this is the girls' first day of high school. And as soon as they get there, we meet Meredith, who's the student body president, who is very controlling.
As you can see, there are 48 distinct cliques. You have the goths, the skaters, the disco dorks.
Oh boy, lunchroom politics again? This movie either hopes we didn't see High School Musical and Mean Girls in the years prior, or that we did see them and were such fans that we were willing to watch the same concept be reused over and over until our boobs came in. I feel like I use the word derivative a lot, and I want to dive into more about that. Like when people are creating a script, sometimes I'll read scripts or things that people send, and I'm a little surprised that we're still reusing these cliches. I think it underestimates the audience's intelligence, and I encourage any writers out there to always search through their own work for cliches. I know I'm always looking and being like, have I seen that somewhere? How can I make that my own? With Meredith's character, they do very little to differentiate this from other Mean Girls we've seen. Just make her less charismatic, I guess.
Good morning, Principal Zimley. Yes, Daddy, what is it?
You were right. Control the population. A, separate the inmates into groups.
Ooh, smart. In that case, I'll act like an inmate and start bartering sexual favors for school supplies. I'll give someone a pencil if they me. While the major message of this movie is about fighting against stereotypes and not giving people cliques, the movie then goes into like heavy stereotyping and putting people into cliques based on their apparent behavior. It's hard to understand. I'm not sure what kids are supposed to get out of this.
This is a really nice table, and I promise it will always be the same table because I understand that change is really upsetting.
Oh please, Stephanie is such a poser. She's not really emo, she's just crying because of her mom's terminal illness. This kind of resurrected a middle school memory where you could just call anyone emo if they were acting sad for some reason. Like you could just shame people for having emotions as a child, like, okay. Also, I know from making this mistake in the past that emo is a distinct style, and I don't know that she's like super pushing that style here. So it just felt like an unresearched joke, which we're all guilty of making. Pretty sure I called the Pope Christian at one point. Annalise Vanderpool is in this movie. She played, what was her name? Tracy? Raven's best friend in That's So Raven. Amanda? Tracy? That's gonna be so annoying. Now I have to look her up. Raven and Chelsea. That's it. Remembered it using my brain power. So the Bratz walk in and they're like, we're good. We're not gonna be sorted into lunch groups by the school president. And instead they go about their day to all of their classes where they go on to prove that they are just good at everything. And they're always defying expectations, okay?
Excuse me, miss. Are you in the right room?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure high school students have to take science whether or not they appear to be a geek. If we only had to study the things that we were personally interested in at that age, I would have graduated with a PhD in show tunes and sleeping with men off of Craigslist. I remember this scene like as a GIF somehow. You can find this GIF on the keyboard of GIFs.
Little magnesium, some sodium salt, and a little bling. Booyah! Bye!
Congratulations, sweetie, you just made an explosive. I just got off the phone with the Department of Homeland Security and they're on their way here to tackle your ass to Guantanamo. This is public school. We don't around. Also, shout out to young Chet Hanks being in this movie with his ceramic braces. I don't know anything about him as a person. I've seen things where he might be problematic, don't know. But just based on appearance, present day Chet Hanks is first on the list of men in that family who can get it. For me, it's then followed by Colin Hanks and then Woody from Toy Story for some reason.
We would be honored to have you as a member of our science team.
Yeah, thanks for the accolades.
I need those to see. What if I just snatched off your blue clip-in extension that you need to feel interesting? Gosh darn, Mary Sue science partner over here knows how to make a periodic table of elements, but she touches my glasses. Did you hear me stutter like I've never taken a science class? I got through college without ever having to take a science class because I went to liberal studies. Girl, I don't know what they were doing. They were like, just try not to die of alcoholism and we'll give you a degree. Speaking of, these girls are the epitome of the Mary Sue stereotype, which is a character who's like unrealistically lacking in weaknesses, just good at everything, doesn't have any flaws. And they're also just for some reason loved and adored by everybody instantly. Watch the amazing cheerleading scene.
Falcons! Now that's the level I expect from a Falcon cheerleader.
So like the bare minimum, has this school not been properly zoned for any pep at their rallies? I love the tiara wearing cheerleading captain though. She's like, only those who have the passion and the fire burning within them will get access to the communal bowl of mood stabilizers. Oh, I forgot to mention it, but they shot this movie in Los Angeles. So this is like real Los Angeles locations, which I love because now I can recognize some of them. I don't know where the school is though. I did not look it up. So as we just saw, Jade is a science genius, but she also is a fashion person. Here's her showing us by helping out the less fortunate nerds look hot. Again, like you can't just dress how you want in this, you have to get a makeover a lot.
It's very red. It's very you.
I'd be like, okay, but I didn't tell you to do all that to your hair though. I just want everybody to know that that was not part of my original vision for this look. The garment, yes. The shoes, I know, but she put that scrap fabric in her hair. That was her doing. Because of an embarrassing Mary Had a Little Lamb puking experience, which I know I've said that before. I know. Just like sometimes people will comment, is this a re-upload on a brand new video? I feel like I'm re-uploading that statement about someone throwing up as a young person while singing Mary Had a Little Lamb. Tell me when we've seen that in a movie before. But because of that, she's too scared to try out for the singing group, which is what she really wants. So instead she's gonna do journalism. But while she's spying on the music group, she turns around and has this interaction. Another clip I used to always see on Tumblr back when people used Tumblr.
I don't know where you're going. Are you blind? Hello?
No, but I'm deaf.
You don't sound deaf.
Well, you don't look ignorant, but I guess you can't judge a book, right?
Can we get a custodian to the east hallway? There's been a bloodbath. Yasmin's whole circulatory system just fell out of her when he hit her with that. I didn't know Bratz dolls came with detachable faces because yours is currently on the tile floor. This is just another example of where the movie plays it really straight for something that was almost a cartoon. You know, they're playing it really deep and heavy and serious for moments that are then like completely childlike and cartoony. It's really hard for the tone to kind of find a spot in my brain to relax. And also, this little lesson doesn't really ever get fully baked into the script. It's just like an unusual first encounter where she learns something, but we never really kind of see that learning come to be, except for the fact that they talk again later and have crushes. Anyway, just thought you had to see that. Literally, Meredith does not make sense to me. She has no motivations in her life and no care outside of making sure everyone sits at the right spot according to her map. Like, what? That literally has nothing to do with your standing at the school.
It's no problem. I have the seating charts right here.
I think we'd rather sit together.
There's really not a table for that.
Oh, that's okay. I'm sure we'll find space somewhere.
But the lunch courtyard isn't organized that way.
What kind of youth Nazi summer camp are you trying to run with this selective breeding seating chart, sis? This girl either has obsessive compulsive tendencies that she needs to look into or violent xenophobia brewing just beneath the socially acceptable surface. And if the past 4 years in America have shown us anything, it's probably a toxic combination of both. For the land of the free. The other popular girls are like, oh my god, those girls are so cool. They want to sit together and they don't yield to this Meredith's like presidential power because you have none. Like what kind of school doesn't have a place where 4 friends can just sit together? Anyway, this is where the movie quickly falls apart, and we're only 16 minutes into it, so not a good sign. Just simply because there's really no empty table and people from other cliques like the cheerleaders and the science nerds call each of the individual girls over, they all have to split up for that lunch period, and then I guess that's the destruction of their friendship forever. It shows us this kind of clever montage where it's all the girls talking over music, and you start to see that they're growing apart and becoming less like friendly with one another until they're like, I'm done, and sign off. And it all ends with Yasmin getting the door shut on her face by Sasha when she's with her cheerleading friends. Which, I'm just warning you, it will be followed by a very jarring jump. Tell me if you feel what I feel.
I'll call you. Okay, call me.
I won't be late to school. It's 'cause I really care about it.
Holy 2-year time jump, Batman. Nothing takes me out of a movie like skipping over years of vital character development within the first act. It's like saying, here, meet these characters. Now forget everything you know about them. Also, what is this good girl rock anthem? I love to brush my teeth. I make my bed each morning 'cause I love to sleep at the nighttime. I go to bed real early 'cause I... Oh, side note, do you guys remember, maybe some will, that Paula Abdul had a reality show and she was the executive producer, costume designer, and choreographer for this movie, and she got on camera fired on her BlackBerry via email and was like sobbing, and it became this big meme, or like an early meme at the time, of her sobbing because of being fired. That was my only reason for being aware of it at the time, because in 2007, I was 16. Wow, teenager. They grow up so fast. So now it's 2 years later, like that 2-year time jump really upset me because there was no need for it. Why couldn't we have just had this start like with them not being friends? It could be the origin of them becoming friends, or it could be like it's the first day of school and they're pulled apart and then apart for like a week. And then like the 2-year time jump just seemed totally unnecessary to me, and it took me out of the story, because then I'm like, so what age is everyone now? Now they're juniors. This girl, Meredith, I guess is a senior. There's no other way she's anything else. It just gave my brain all of these backflips to do that I'm not ready.
I am here to talk about the talent show.
I'm gonna start using that single finger God point as a power move when I'm talking to groups. Children, please stop stealing my bike. Consider this the inciting incident, if there is any, in the movie. Or I guess there's like many, but this is the main one, I suppose.
Our wonderful arts committee is providing a spectacular grand prize this semester. A college scholarship to the school of your choice.
Great, I'll just bust out my legendary karaoke performance of Maroon 5's This Love. Then I'll just take a full ride to Harvard as cash in hand. Thank you very much. What kind of school would give you a full scholarship to the school of your choice? Like, that's not a high school thing that any high school would ever do. It's preposterous. Not for a talent show, like maybe for a scholarship as like an academic scholarship. And I could see them even making that happen. Since Jade is such a science fashion nerd, they could be like, first prize in the science fair is this, and it interferes with the dance event or something like that, or they could make a conflict out of that. But no, they had to go much more coloring book surface level. Yasmin tries to talk to Jade in the bathroom and she's like, okay, bye, we're not friends anymore. So that's really solidified. We get it, they hate each other now. And then Meredith has this annoying little sister. Like I think she's meant to be annoying.
Wow, Meredith, starting a new trend at school? How's from chic? It suits you.
In fact, all the younger siblings characters in this movie feel like they're here to annoy the audience, and that's it. Which makes no sense since this little girl is the age of the audience that they're trying to sell a movie to. Maybe they wanted her to seem cool and spunky, and that's why, but I don't know, I just want to slam a door on her face so bad. Here's another confusing side point.
All this time I thought you were just some cool jock.
And as it turns out, you're actually just some sad boy who cries, and I found that worthy of applause for some reason. Anyway, have a good one. Like, is this the main character now? I don't understand why one of the Bratz couldn't have been deaf and had some really great representation there, and then had them discover how they can learn to love music regardless. Or, instead of having this science teacher be the one who teaches him how to listen to vibrations, why couldn't it have been Yasmin who's really into music? Because then it'd be like, oh, she has this chance to redeem herself with him after like that bump in the hallway, and she can be like, oh, Mozart used to do it this way, and then it's like, oh, her love of music helped bring them together. But no, we get this. Ew, why did he lick his thumb only to then use exclusively his index finger? He said, I like to just make sure my hands are a little wet with my mouth juices before I start working with children. I feel it drives focus. Meredith gets super jealous when the boy that's always hanging around her starts talking to Chloe. So she sends her dog to pull on Chloe's leg, which somehow creates this chain of events. Okay, that was just the final destination of food squishing. I swear, this script has more conveniences than an airport gift shop. That simile was sponsored by the Hudson News I was abandoned at as a baby. Cleanest floors in Boston. Because the girls are fighting, there's like a food fight that breaks out at the school. I appreciate that this food fight is using sauced noodles and not the Colt compound rations that those kids at Camp Rock were throwing around. Also, somehow my grudge for that against fictional Connie's Catering has been my strongest political stance to date. In all of the hubbub, the girls knock over the statue of the principal and they get the blame for all of this carnage. So that puts them in detention, and this is really where the movie begins, really. So I don't know. If we could have gotten to this food fight much sooner and not had that time jump, I think this would have been a much tighter script to begin with, because it's like an hour and 45 minutes. Could have been a tight 90, I promise you. And the amount of montages, I could lose it. But for now, watch this.
I didn't stop talking to you. You stopped talking to me. At least we don't buy our friends with our daddy's bank account. Only because you don't have a dad or a bank account.
Coming for her socioeconomic status in the schoolyard. Chloe did sort of walk into that for going after Sasha's dad and her money. Like, girl, those are literally the two things you wish you had. It's kind of a self-burn. But that's really the breaking point when Sasha apologizes and they're like, what happened to us?
Why aren't we friends anymore? It's the cliques. We're all in them.
If you say so. I mean, you seemed pretty solitary at that school assembly. Yasmin's like, yeah, we're all in a clique. We all have so many friends and no one's lonely, so that's not the issue. They said that she joins the journalism group, but I call bull garbage. Bull garbage! Mama, sometimes I think I'm on out of the box. Bull garbage. I call bull garbage on that because we never once see her arranging a school newspaper, interviewing anybody during this time when she's supposed to be like, I would love to see her actually, and because she said at the beginning, I'm too shy, I'll just go after journalism. I would love to see her covering like the school concert and them being like, oh my God, it's so much fun singing out there. And she's like, yeah, I'm writing about it. You know, that would be nice. Since they're gonna waste my time, waste it with a well-structured story. Waste it with a well-structured story. That's the same thing I told my Nana when she used to tell me about her life. I'd be like, give me a beginning, middle, and an end. The Great Depression doesn't have to give me depression, Nana. Anyway, Yasmin is super excited because, Meredith threatens to get these girls back for what they're doing at the school. People are like kind of mingling a little bit after that food fight, which I don't really understand how that huge change would happen. That same thing happened in High School Musical where it's like everything's different after one lunch. Next, Yasmin is partying with her mom because she's so excited that her friends are friends again.
So tell me, Chica, why so happy?
You can't tell me that this character isn't brown-faced when I can actually see brown paint on her face. Either no makeup artist knew about undertones in the early thousands, or they were genuinely trying to give this actor a south-of-the-border tan. So the brother getches that video footage of the sister being embarrassingly covered in green slime.
Dos chocolates. How do you do that?
I honestly don't know. She must be waking up early every morning just to staple gun another Hershey Kiss to that growth on the back of your head. Not a good sign that it can't feel pain, by the way. Also, when she said dos chocolates, that woman's mouth did not move. Tell me why. Tell me why bad ADR to replace all the lines. So the girls decide, no matter what, we're just gonna be ourselves. We can still be in our clubs, but we can still be friends with each other. And it's like, yes, you can. I think lots of kids already know that. I mean, I guess that itself is a good lesson to teach kids who are pre-high school that like, you can always be friends with the kids from before, even if you find other friends. But that's rarely landed upon as the actual main message of this movie. And there's a lot of main messages. Okay, also, Meredith is in charge of casting the talent show, and you can tell she's stacking it with untalented people, like comically untalented, so that she can win.
I love MySpace.
MySpace paid for their name to be mentioned 3 times in this movie, but that was easily the most conspicuous one. Also, why do I feel like that musician won a contest to be in a movie and then they just played their 100 by 100 pixel video submission? That looks like a contest cameo to me. Here are some of the other acts that she says no to when they're clearly good.
Ooh, she's hurt.
Oh look, it's Artie from Glee. Real name Kevin McHale. He's actually appearing in the boy band that he was signed to at the time, called NLT, in a cameo. I assume that was probably America's last attempt at boy bandhood altogether. I think nowadays a bunch of young men will just get the same haircut and join a TikTok house. So for about a full day, we get a montage of the girls breaking down barriers, teaching nerds how to wear lip gloss, helping the jock girls wear high heels. Actually no one asked for that's not really what they set out to do. Why are you just giving people makeovers now?
Straighten your legs.
Don't you have any fancy pair of sneakers?
Yes, those actually do exist, and you're more than welcome to wear them. Forcing a butch girl to wear heels would be like forcing me to wear one of those t-shirts screen printed with the Monster Energy logo. It's very cruel, unless it's done ironically to snap a few pictures at a house party. There's this other scene where the nerd defends Jade's honor, and then the guy invites the guy to be a football player.
I think it behooves you to extend an apology to the lady.
I think you better mind your own business.
So based on this montage, it really seems like the whole school is benefiting from whatever changes are being created here. The students seem to like it, the Bratz seem to like it. Jade seems to be getting an unnecessarily large amount of the shine as the genius, but whatever.
I think this might make more sense.
What's a touchdown?
6.
Plus an extra point.
1.
Plus a safety.
2.
Divided by a field goal.
3.
Is good!
It's actually not so good, because that just made it seem like these juniors in high school are just now learning how to add and divide numbers. This movie really said all cliques are bad, and so is judging people. But it is true that jocks are dumb, emo kids are sad, and the smart kids are weirdos. What are you trying to tell us about people here? Maybe it would be more cool if they were oh, these guys on the football team actually have this secret love of science, or, the way that you mix up that electrolyte drink for us is actually chemistry. Oh, I never thought about it that way. Literally just pulled that out of thin air, but that's the kind of thing I need here. If we're really helping people discover more about themselves and not just passive aggressively telling them they're stupid. Chloe, who's the sports loving soccer girl of this show, she's always getting hit on by that guy with the big hair who's in Meredith's orbit.
Still a rip, but I think with a little adjustment, it'd be a whole lot better. Power comes from your core, like this.
Why are you mansplaining how to kick a soccer ball to someone who 30 minutes ago did this? I think we got it, Weird Al. Hands off the merchandise. When I need someone with garden hose arms and clown hair to save the day, I'll be sure to send up the shrimp signal. Meredith is wearing me out. She's at her pool with her girlfriends, obsessing over these brats. Get over it, honey. Live your life.
I'm throwing another Super Sweet 16 party.
But you're already 16.
In fact, I'll have MTV tape the whole thing. My mom is best friends with the producers.
Oh, another unbelievable coincidence. As long as there's product placement involved, I really don't care what our kids sit and look at these days. If your mom is such good friends with the producers of MTV's My Super Sweet 16, then why didn't they have you on the show during your actual Sweet 16 party the year before? Also, I don't know why they had to make it so that they were well, you already turned 16, and she's I'm having another one. Couldn't it have just been her first 16th birthday and not had that confusing detail? And then it would make sense that she's on My Super Sweet 16. Who does it help? And they didn't even really try to make it funny, she's already lying about her age, even though that's another stereotype for women. The little brother of Yasmin shows up because apparently him and the little sister of Meredith go to the same ballet class where he goes to pick up girls. I hate it here.
Don't you need a license to be that ugly?
Ooh, I like them feisty.
Meredith's little sister looks about 10, and that brother is at least a freshman in high school. It's weird that he would ever say that about her, isn't it? It would make so much more sense for that brother to be hitting on the cool older girls, not this person who legit looks like she's in middle school. Also, if that girl is supposed to be in this universe 13 or 12, how old were these girls supposed to look when they were starting high school at the beginning of the movie? Because they looked older. But actually, impressively, most of the people in this this cast were actually teenagers at the time of shooting. The girl who plays Yasmin was 15 when she shot this. She looks much more mature, I believe. So this brother gives her the embarrassing footage of her singing with the mom, and then the next day she hands out invitations to the Super Sweet 16. So the girls go shopping, and then Chloe can't afford to go shopping, so Sasha gives her one of her parents' quote guilt certificates, which is a gift certificate she gets just because her parents are divorced. I don't know what's going on here. None of it matters because they don't even go to this party. They just really wanted to show us a shopping montage. So they go to the Grove, which is like a shopping area off 3rd Street. Ooh, sponsored by Skechers, the official footwear that moms might wear on a boat. The bad fashion plus the bad music is causing my body to go into shock. Where's that emergency blanket? I'm talking to nobody. This super long scene of Meredith, not even the main character of the movie, getting primped and ready for her party. Like, do we really need this? Literally adds nothing. All just to get caught up with Yasmin and this kid whose name I can't remember.
I can't hear, but I heard you. Sing something.
Open eyes, I can see what's in front of me.
Okay, no, sing something else. Maybe without that disembodied voice from The Exorcist. Some of the lip syncing that they try to pull with this movie is straight up like watching The Crypt Keeper. Jade's actress was the only one who actually sang and recorded her own vocals. Hi, this is Vacation Nick jumping in to let you know that if you're watching this video as it comes out, then there won't be a video this upcoming Monday because I am what? On vacation. My sister Jill is visiting. Hi, Jill. But I'll see you guys this Friday with a new vid that you'll love. Bye. Later, Chloe gets home and her mom is supposed to be cooking. Like, I guess now we are supposed to know that her mom's a caterer. I missed that detail. I wouldn't put it past them if they never once said it. The mom is supposed to be cooking, but she's really sick. So she's like, go sleep. And then the Bratz come over to help. And we have this cooking montage. And at this point, I'm like, I think we just had 3 montages all within the same 10 minutes. That was 10 or 12 minutes of montages. Montage. Like, my vitamins are depleted from that. I literally have to go get an IV drip after this.
Let's do it.
People are gonna be eating this food later, right? They're like, once everyone gets a chance to roll these cream puffs between their fingers for no reason, make sure you get your face really close to those uncovered cupcakes. When the mom wakes up and sees that they've done this for her, she's like so emotional, but we don't get to enjoy it for long.
You girls are absolute angels.
Aren't we?
Mom, what's wrong? My servers can't make it.
Well, damn, Mom, you're just one problem after another today, aren't you? And what really hurts is that she knows all those servers called out to go to Six Flags without her. Otherwise, why would they all be calling in together? Are they a traveling family of servers? Either way, you know what this means. The Bratz are reporting for duty. They're gonna step up and serve, even though, spoiler alert, this is Meredith's party, her Sweet 16 that, oh, by the way, they were not allowed to go to because when Meredith handed out the invitation, she was like, it's by lunch group table, so if you're not in a group, you really can't come, sorry. So the girls were like, whatever, we're not going. But now they have to go as servers. See how messy this plot is? Like, so many steps. Just shut up. What are you trying to say? Do I have to love myself? I don't want it.
Girl, I may be wearing circus clothes and a clown nose, but I draw a line at wearing animals.
Sasha went fur free before the major fashion designers did it, and that's why her Bratz doll is the one that I'm currently sitting on. I wanted to buy a Bratz doll, but they're all like $44 for the newest edition, and if you want a first edition, which is really what I wanted, on eBay they're starting at like $100. I just might place a bid, but I'm not gonna get it in time for this video. I wanted her to be sitting right here with me. Mwah! Pretend there's a Sasha doll right here in my hand. So, although they got into these full clown getup and Meredith is like, time to get out there, they were allowed to somehow change all of their makeup and costumes to suit them better, which to me, I would just be like, I think Meredith wants you to wear the clown costumes. And actually, nobody would be able to even know who they were if they stayed in the clown makeup. They would be completely anonymous, but instead they do this.
Candy, quiche, pickle puff.
These girls are just universally adored, aren't they? They look like P.T. Barnum's concubines and the whole school is eating them up. Also, what's candy quiche? What's a pickle puff? Sounds gross. See, those are like the cartoon details where you're like, this is played like a cartoon, but then there's a, you know, a deaf kid who I don't see that really in a cartoon very often, maybe. Like it feels like it's somehow pulling from both worlds, like kids and teen movies. Also, in regards to everyone loving them, wouldn't it have been more interesting for them to be like trying to struggle to find their place in the school? Like I thought at the beginning they were all going to be like, oh, I'm great at cheerleading, but they don't want me to be in cheerleading because I'm already in the science team, or oh, I'm great at science, but because I love fashion, they're not letting me, like the thing that they're good at in class dictates what they're supposed to do after school, so they have trouble fitting in, and everyone's like, no, we don't like these girls, they're shaking it up. Instead of them just being loved by everybody, because that just, I mean, then it feels like there's no conflict. It's like, okay, so everybody loves them, that's a great first start, now what? You know, like, like there's no problem. Meredith is the only problem, and it seems like nobody really cares what Meredith does. So basically, the girls are all serving at the party, and then Meredith does her first number. I think Meredith gets more musical numbers than any other character, which is basically handing the movie over to her, in my opinion.
Time to take a lesson from me. I'm fabulous, simply one and only fabulous.
These movies always give antagonists the best song. Although I can't say I fully endorse the full diaper cabaret wiggle there. I love the vocalist they have for Meredith. Her like, ooh, 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 a little raspy voice. Take a lesson for me. Fabulous. I think her voice really matches her actor's voice, so it works in that way. Yasmin gets pulled up on stage by Meredith, even though Meredith knows she has stage fright. And then when Yasmin storms off because she's not ready to perform, Meredith goes and pulls this with that secret footage.
I just want you all to see it.
La cucaracha, la cucaracha.
Wow, sweetie, you're really handing over the spotlight to another girl at your own party, aren't you? I would be so confused. Like, why are you playing that girl's home videos at your party? Is this a promposal? So at first, Yasmin is really hurt, and it seems like people are laughing at her, but then it turns out to be a non-issue because like a song gets started, and the cute guy is like, no, don't worry about it. Like, it's all, like, why did this even happen right now? This feels like something that would happen in the third act, at the climax, but we're just at the end of the second act. Like, there's still a lot to happen. It's crazy. Meanwhile, for some reason, all of this stuff embarrassing happens at Meredith, like she falls into the cake and then the pool.
Thank you.
See, this is why I don't mess with animal entertainment. I rode an elephant as a kid and I was just terrified the whole time of getting thrown off and trampled to death. So this is very triggering for me. I thought that's what was going to happen to poor Meredith here. And it should have, but really the trunk just knocks her into the pool.
The party's over. You ruined it for everyone. You brats!
Finally, we can start getting that brand recognition in. I mean, let's not forget the real reason that we're making this movie. It's for the children. It's merchandising opportunities.
Bratz the movie dolls with a real working camera. Dolls that's each sold separately.
So the next day at school, apparently because of what happened at the party, like first of all, was the whole school at the party? Everyone is mad at the Bratz and they're like, you either have to spend more time in our clique or you're out of the mathletes team, which is like, how is that even what's the appropriate amount of time? That should just be like, you're meeting once a week or something, right? So for some reason, the girls decide that the only way to set things right is by winning that talent competition and knocking Meredith out of her streak. And Yasmin is like, no way, I'm never gonna do that. And they're like, well, Chloe could really use that scholarship. And they're like, you're right. The motivation for them even joining this talent show doesn't seem like, the Chloe thing is fine, but I don't see how them winning the talent show is gonna make everybody like love them and allow them to be part of their cliques again. That's not clear to me.
We don't have a name.
Well, if it isn't the Bratz.
So it's time for what? Another montage. We actually see the Bratz logo on a piece of fabric here. Jade starts sewing the costumes. Sasha's gonna do the choreography. Chloe is gonna do, who knows? Everyone's gonna do something. It's a lot. Chloe's just gonna be the poor one, I guess. They go back into this montage where the girls are practicing for the talent show. Meanwhile, other people are being rejected from the talent show, like for being too good by Meredith. Also, why did we have them get a gift card to go shopping before when that same character could have just sewed all of those clothes? Like, that seems a little more creative and a little less consumeristic. Anyway, Meredith is the worst. She's the worst. She's now got Yasmin cornered in the principal's office, threatening her with an ultimatum.
I'm pretty sure Chloe wouldn't want the entire student body to know. When her mother worked for us, things just disappeared.
You better have very strong evidence before you go and accuse Chloe's mother of sticking your silver candlesticks up her butt. She's normally very responsible about that. So this ultimatum means that Yasmin has to back out of the stupid show. And the girls are like, what? We're 20 minutes from the end here.
You don't want to talk about it? Can we talk about the fact that my grades have dropped? How selfish can you be?
What happened to sticking together?
I guess I'm just not feeling it anymore.
Cry harder, maybe it'll blend your eyeshadow more. That hard crease color looks like it was done by those female inmates who used wet colored pencils. So this is what I would call a third act conflict, like we would see in a lot of movies like this, where it's like a lot of the times infighting. The friends turn on each other for some reason, somebody walks away, they have this moment where you think they're gonna break up. Thank God these random mother characters are here to impart wisdom without any sort of growth.
Don't you think that you at least owe it to Yasmin to look a little bit deeper, find out why she did what she did?
I don't know, but can you please pass that plate of chocolate chip cookies over here? Because you're clearly gonna keep having candy-colored conversations until my blood sugar drops. Have you ever noticed that in TV and movies, cookies are always piled unnecessarily high on a plate? If we're talking mass quantities, I'll take those Chips Ahoy right out of the sleeve and shotgun them like Cookie Monster. My eyes roll all the way back just to protect themselves from flying crumbs. Chocolate chip cookies, man. So good. Cookies so good. That's Cookie Monster. I wish that these girls had discovered the misunderstanding in some way. Like they just go show up at Yasmin's door and are like, look outside, we forgive you. Because she like quickly explains everything. I wish it could have been like, they go online and they see the secret footage, or maybe one of the weirdos, the boys that they love so much are like, look, I'm in, like the guy with the big hair who loves Chloe can be like, they set you guys up. They don't want you to perform because she knows you have a chance of winning. And then they're like, we jumped to conclusions way too hard. We have to go get Yasmin. That would have been good. I mean, it would have been better. I think it would still be a far cry from good. All right, but now we're at the final jam, baby. All these movies have a final jam and it's always a talent show. So Meredith is singing her second song of the whole number, which is the 0 songs we've heard from the Bratz girls so far.
It's just me, I'm hot, never cold. I can rock it any way that I choose. MySpace, I have 10 million friends.
Girl, you are really pushing that MySpace page. No one wants to see a dozen digital camera photos of you at Cold Stone Creamery, Meredith. Don't write a song about that. Also, again, with the antagonist having the best song and vocals. I can rock it any way that I choose. Oh no, that did not sound good. Choose! Why did I turn into Goofy? Goofy movie. Can rock it any way that I choose. Oh, nope. I'm really trying. Try to go the rest of the day without singing MySpace, I have 10 million friends. It's a good response to anything. When this computer's slow, I'm like, MySpace, I have 10 million friends. Do. I can rock it any way that I choose. So anyway, there's Meredith singing. She honestly does deserve to win. Like, she pulled out all the stops in her performance, and I'm here for it. But we all know that's not what's gonna happen for some reason. Because after that, when the Bratz girls try to get on stage, Meredith pulls out her jump drive of information, and she calls out Jade. I don't know, see, this is where it's like, we just did you getting called out at a party 10 minutes earlier when they just called out Yasmin. Why wouldn't they save that Yasmin thing for here? If it's like, we're gonna call everyone out all at once. It feels so like scattershot for there to be what feels like 2 climaxes at a big public event where there's humiliation. So anyway, now Jade is called out for changing her clothes and pretending to be a good girl nerd to her parents, and then changing into fashion at school. And Jade is like, well, I'm both of those things. I love my parents, but I also love fashion. And so her parents are in the audience and are like, we forgive you. We're gonna move past it for now. Next, we go to Chloe getting dissed for that missing object, which again, literally in that one scene where she was threatening Yasmin, Meredith was like, all of my things go missing when her mom works for us. And it's like, that had never been mentioned once before. That had never been brought up. I didn't even know that she worked for her. I thought she was the caterer, not the house cleaner. Anyway.
My family was kind enough to offer her employment as our maid. And how did her daughter repay this kindness? By stealing my favorite, most beloved dolly.
I never took your doll.
Actually, I did.
She doesn't even go here. As you can see, things that were positioned as huge conflicts at the beginning are turning out to be no big deal after all. That's the worst. Like, why even do this? The whole stolen doll storyline was more easy come, easy go than my attempt at eating paleo. You mean cavemen didn't eat Airheads Extreme? I'm over it. Because all these girls are being outed by Meredith and it turns out not to be a big deal, other kids in the school start standing up that they don't necessarily belong strictly in their cliques either. This is very familiar.
I've been taking ballet since I was 5.
Not another piece.
It's
It's just dancing.
So embarrassing that they would steal all of these ideas. The nerdy kid stands up and says something. It doesn't matter. It's time for the Bratz to sing their title main shebang song, which is unfortunately the worst one in the movie.
Say my gratitude, it's just an attitude. I'm gonna take the latitude to say that it's okay.
Oof, that's the hook for your final song? Why would I want to sit through your stream of consciousness while you try to decide on words that rhyme with attitude?
It's not a platitude, feel some gratitude, so show your gratitude to the world today.
Boo, get off the stage. Bring back the girl who sang about MySpace. She had all the costumes and hair. Love wearing attitudes, longitude, latitude. I won't be mad at you if you go away. That's this song the whole time. It's so not catchy. What in the Andrew Lloyd Webber is going on here? Why does it sound exactly like they're about to select their Jellicle cat? Okay, the girls look tired and they're not even making pleasant noises anymore. Why are you doing this to us? I thought you loved us, Bratz dolls. But of course it ends and the girls win the competition and they give the prize to Chloe and that's all good. And then the MTV producer comes up and says,
"You have got superstar written all over you. We're having the movie premiere next Saturday night. How would you girls like to be the featured act on the red carpet?"
Philip Seymour Hoffman, I love your work. Spoiler alert, the sequel he's setting up is never gonna happen because this movie's box office return was 6 pennies and a broken rubber band. And that's all they wrote for Bratz this week. You guys, this movie was worse than I could have imagined. Like at first, at the beginning, I was like kind of into it because I did like all of the actors and I think they were well cast, but the script was a mess. The characters were a mess. This whole movie was a mess. It was like bad for my eyes and ears and fingers. My fingers hurt too for some reason. Anyway, let me know your thoughts below. Also, what other movies should we cover on Clip Breakdown? Give me a heads up in the comments. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right down here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so turn on notifications and you'll always be the first to know. Oh, and click that like button. Also, I have merch available and a Patreon where you can access monthly bonus episodes of Clip Breakdown and exclusive watch parties and other fun stuff. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you so much for doing gratitude things with me today. I will see you next time. Boo!